Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So last week we were looking at how that Atman is eko vashi sarva bhutantaratma ekam rupam bahudaya karoti tamatmastham yenu pashyanti dhiraha tesham sukham shashvatam netaresham. Eko vashi sarva bhutantaratma. He controls everything by being the heart of everything in this creation, in this world. Ekam rupam bahudaya karote. Even though it is one, yet it is having all the forms. Tamatmastham yenu pashyanti dhira. And the wise people, those wise people, or the wise people, those who see it as their atmastham, ye anupashyanti. Those who see this Atma as their self, they tesham sukham shashvatam nedaresham. They come to the to such people who have this vision that the Atma is their essential self. They alone have the eternal experience, the eternal happiness, and and anyone who does not think in this manner, he is, what is he? He is miserable. Similar thought in the next one. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman tamatmastham yenu pashyanti dhiraha tesham shanti shashvati netaresham. So here in this 13th verse, similar thought. Nitya anityanam chetanas chetananam. He is the Nitya, eternal, among the Anityanam, that which is not eternal, he is the eternal one. So what is non-eternal in you? Body is changing, senses are changing, thoughts are changing, thought is changing, concepts are changing, waker, dreamer, sleeper are changing, this life, next life is changing. Who is the constant who feels that all this is observed, noticed by me? That you are, that is the eternal one. So that is the constant one. Do you feel when you talk about changes, you are always with reference to something, you say, oh, that is changing, this is changing. But have you ever felt that you are changing? No. So it is the changeless among the changing. It is the consciousness among the non-conscious, or it is intelligence among the intelligent. Chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. And it is that one reality by eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. Kaman means desires. So by this is one reality, this is one Atman, by knowing which all desires are fulfilled in toto, in one go, not sequentially. Right now our problem is everything is sequential. Everything is linear. Today, then tomorrow. How can I be happy at this moment in one go? No, no, no. I have to practice. I have to do sadhana. I have to do pranayama. I have to do japa. I have to study scriptures. I have to do hard yaka. Only then I will come to know the truth. How can I be the truth without doing anything? But that's the trick. Truth is available right here and now. And it is told that once we come to be the truth, at that very moment all our desires are satisfied. In other words, here he says, Eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman, meaning that even though Eko bahunam, Eko, Ekaha, it is one, that Atma is one, that Atma is not one per person. That is, we imagine that it is one per person out of our ignorance. But the truth, the Atma, the pure consciousness that I am, the constant principle, the eternal principle that I am, it is one without a second. But it appears as many, it appears it appears as many and fulfills the many. Bahuna means many. Many kaman. It fulfills the many desire. Just like you are in your house and you want to go to your bedroom or temple room or your drawing room or your dining room or your garage or your laundry. You may move everywhere. It is a desire when you come out of your bed. It is your urgency to go to the toilet, or you have to take shower. Then, oh no, I have to quickly make a coffee and get ready to catch the train. So, desire to go to the kitchen. But where are you going around? You are going around within your house. You are not gone anywhere. Everything is yours only already. Exactly the same way, the Atma is one without a second, and in the previous verse it was told it is the heart of everything and everyone. So there is no one moment. There is nothing outside it. That is the main point, and therefore everything is already fulfilled within it. And if we want to talk about it from a seeker's point of view, by knowing it, all desires are fulfilled by it. Meaning not that by Atma you will go after, now I will have more desires, I will have more fantastic desires to fulfill. No, that is not the meaning. The meaning is, once we come to be the Atma, comes to abide in the self, that very moment, because self is one without a second, because self is all that there is, they cannot, either you can say it fulfills all the desires, or the other way, that there are no desires to be fulfilled because there is no otherness. Desire is always about something separate from you. Desire is always about something that you lack. Self is self-fulfilled. Self is complete. Self is of the self-illumined, self-knowing, self-existing. It doesn't require anything, any other means, any other ways to complete itself. Just as water is complete in itself. It doesn't require the appearance or disappearance of the ocean or wave. It is complete. So all the oceans and all the waves remain fulfilled the moment they come to know that they are the water. See, that is the tam atmastham ye anupashyanti dhiraha. Wise people who know it, know this eternal principle, the intelligent principle as the Atma. They alone what? Tesham shanti shashvatim netaresham. Such wise people, as their own, they belong to, they attain to the eternal peace and not the others. We are not talking about some foreign person. We are not talking about what the masters have realized. We are talking about you. This is your true nature. This is your essence. So stop shortchanging yourself by living at a, a desire oriented activity level. Then what should be the activity? Self oriented activity, not desire oriented activity. See? When your attention, when your mind, when your heart is contemplating, I'm not talking seeking out, contemplating on the truth that is the essence, there will be activity. As long as this body is alive, there will be activity. Eyes will continue blinking, breath will continue going in and out. In the contemplations, thought may come or silence may come, then again thought may come. If hunger comes, the body will go and eat some food. If pressure comes, body will go to the toilet. So, but this person, he is obsessed, he is enchanted, he is in wonderment about this truth that he is, which is infinite in nature, as explained in the last 2-3 verses. And he is wondering, the seeker is wondering. You and me are the foolish seekers. Therefore, why wondering? Because we are seeking it objectively. Who is the wise man? Who knows it is his essence. When can you come to know that it is your essence? Tomorrow. After the lecture. No, let Swamiji complete the sentence, then I will contemplate. No. No, after this Upanishad is over, then I will go through it all over again and dive deep into it. Right now, here and now is the moment. The speaker should vanish, the listener must vanish, and let the activity go on. The speaking activity will be going on, hearing activity will going on. But the consciousness that I am, we abide in that. And what is the impact of that? The impact of that is one without a second consciousness. So there are no separate consciousnesses. There is only one consciousness. There are no separate waters per wave. There is only one water. And it's infinite in its nature. There are no separate spaces. Australian space, Indian space, American space, Chinese space. No, it is one space. Similarly, there is no separate consciousnesses. There is only one consciousness. If you don't accept it, what has been told in the last 3 verses will not be realized by you. If you accept it, there is a possibility that we will abide in it. Etare, what did it say? It said, Tesham Shanti Shashwati Netaresham. So, such wise people who recognize it or see it directly as their own essential self, they alone gain the eternal peace, not others. So, which category you belong to? Not others? Or tam atmastham ye anupashyanti dhiraha, or the wise people. Are you the wise or the otherwise? Choice is yours. Now coming to the 14th verse. Tadet तदेतदिति मन्यन्ते तदेतदिति मन्यन्ते अनिर्देशं परमं सुखम् अनिर्देशं परमं सुखम् कथं नु तत् विजानीयाम् कथं नु तत् विजानीयाम् किमु भाति विभाति वा किमु भाति विभाति वा टुगेदर तदेतद् इति मन्यन्ते अनिर्देशं परमं सुखम् कथं नु तद् विजानीयाम् किमु भाति विभाति वा. He says, तद एतद इति मन्यन्ते अनिर्देश्यम परमं सुखम eternal happiness. What is this eternal happiness? Tad etad iti, what was told in the previous two verses or three verses, that tad etad iti, that thus that what was mentioned in the previous verse, just verses gone by, the wise believe that it cannot be pointed out, anirdesham, it cannot be pointed out, it cannot be pinpointed that this is that. This statement is there, Tattvamasi, you are that, but what you are, that is not told. Again the words are used, what, that the definition of you is told and definition of that is told, and you have to work out that you are not this body, you are not this senses, you are not this mind, you are not these thoughts, you are not these ideas, you are not this. Even the statement you are that is not you. You, meaning the self, is something else other than all these equipments, and that is that infinite reality which is being talked about, and you are that. Oh, how do I become that? Can there be a thought process in you are that? If a wave is told you are that infinite waters, can the wave ever work it out? If the ornament is told you are the infinite gold, अच्छा कहाँ से किधर, I will melt all the ornaments into myself. Still there is more gold left apart from the ornaments. That is not the way. It's not a linear process. It's not a sequential process. When it happens in one spontaneous consummation. It will not happen in grades. If it is happening in grades, you are having a glimpse, you are having some horripulations, all those are still referential. You are still searching for it, you are still seeking it, you are still having objectivity of that reality in your mind. And maybe sometimes your mind collapses and you have some experience and you come out of it continuing to maintain the duality. But when that, so we have to bring about a condition wherein our sense of identity collapses completely. Not by drugs, not by drinks, just accept. What do you accept in this context here? What was told in the last 2-3 verses. Contemplate on them again and again and again and again and again. Start early in the morning. Take shower, listen, read that verse, listen to it in the car or while going to work, and let the whole day be an involuntary contemplation going on in the back of your mind. It's continuously because early in the morning you put that thought in your mind. What is that thought? Previous two verses. I am the all inclusive. I am the one without a second. Katham nu tad vijaniyam kimu bhati bibhati va. How will I? Katham nu tad vijaniyam. How will I come to know it? That which is greater than the greatest, that which is one without a second, that which is pervading everything as the essence of everything and everyone. That without, that which is the essence of all, the whole world, that which is even though one, yet expressing as many forms, that which is the essence, the constant among all the changes, that which is the intelligence among all the intelligent, that which is, even though it is one, it satisfies all the desires. How can I come to know it? The student is asking, or here the teacher is saying, Tatediti manyante anirdesham paramam sukham. That was the statement. The manyante, here it is, that the one who is able to discriminate in the manner given in the previous 2-3 verses, he is unable to speak about it, he is unable to speak about it, and as a result is able to experience, as it was told before, the eternal peace or the eternal happiness in the 12th verse, as it was told. And this eternal peace and eternal happiness, how can I speak about it? If a person has eaten a chocolate and you have never tasted a chocolate, the person who has tasted the chocolate, how can he explain to you what is the joy of eating Lindt chocolate? I'm not advertising Lindt, okay? How can he explain? He can write theses, he can give lectures, he can go on TED, he can have a podcast, he can invite many scientists to talk about it. But will you be convinced? In the end, he gives you one piece of chocolate. Infinite number of words are not going to communicate to you the experience of eating the chocolate. Correct? Exactly the same way. No amount of words. So therefore he is saying, Katham nu vijaniyam. How am I going to explain this? How will I come to know it? Here it is not explain it, vijaniyam. How will I come to know it? So the student is asking that Nachiket is asking here, how will I come to know it? He is still thinking objectively. Till now teacher was telling. He is in tune with the teacher. But because he is in tune, he is not listening blindly to the teacher. He is working out in himself, subjectively. And in that, just like Arjuna was continuously, subjectively taking in the Bhagavad Gita, and because he was taking it in, appropriate questions were coming to his mind and he was asking to the teacher, Krishna. Same way, Nachiket is also listening, and therefore he says, then katham tu nu vijaniya tad vijaniyam. How will I come to know it then? That which is infinite in nature, that which is eternal peace, that which is eternal happiness, eternal. Everything is so fantastic thoughts. The natural question, it is a natural question in a seeker. Then how will I come to know that eternal? In other words, I am imagining here, I have not read the Bhashya yet, but the student is still trying to objectify the reality, the self. He wants to know, like I know you, I see you, like I see this laptop, like I see these verses on the paper. He wants to know the self also in this manner. Or if he has worked out that he cannot see it objectively, no means of knowledges are applicable there, then the question is, how will I come to know it? That is the question. Katham nu tad vijaniyam. Kimu bhati vibhati va? Second question. Is it, this is the problem of objectification. He says, kimu bhati vibhati va? Is it illuminated by our intellect? Is it illuminated? Is that essence, is that Atma illuminated by our intellect or not? You say, I know, you all who are listening right now, you will say, we know the answer. Correct or not? Let me get some response. Then how come Nachiket, who is such a good student, then maybe we are better than him? Because we know the answer. How come Nachiket is not knowing the answer? He seems to be asking very pertinent questions, with such deep questions, and yet now we are understanding what the teacher is saying, but Nachiket is not understanding. He is still asking, is that Atma illumined by the light of our intellect or not? The moment you, if at all you said, it went in your mind that we understood, that we came to know. I'm just trying to voice some of your thoughts. That we came to know, we are, Swamiji knows that we are so intelligent. Katha Upanishad says, the one who understands has not understood, the one who knows does not know the truth, the one who doesn't know only knows the truth. And there the student, when he goes away to meditate and comes back, he says, I have come to know the truth. It's not that I have not come to know the truth. I have come to know the truth that I cannot come to know the truth. The one who knows this, that he knows the truth but cannot, but knows that he cannot know the truth, alone knows the truth. So this was the verse. So let's look at what it says. 142. Yat tadatma vijnanam sukham anirdesham nirdeshtum ashakyam paramam prakrishtam prakruta purusha vang manasa yoho agocharam api san nivritta eshana ye brahmanaha te yat tad etat pratyaksham eva iti manyante. He says, Yat tad Atma Vijnanam Sukham. This Atma Vigyan, this Atma Sukham, this bliss, this happiness of knowing the self, of being the self. This happiness of knowing the self, anirdeshyam, it cannot be indicated, it cannot be talked about. We use many words, but that is not equal to what it is. That is only to inspire us to seek it out. It is only to inspire us to be that. So it is nirdesh means to indicate. Anirdesham, it cannot be indicated. Nirdeshtum ashakyam, it cannot be it cannot be indicated through speech also. So now what is anirdeshyam? He's qualifying. Nirdeshum ashakyam, nirdeshtum ashakyam. Because here we are not doing any pranayam, we are not doing any yoga, we are not doing any focusing exercise, we are not doing anything except we are listening. And we are listening to the teacher who is explaining. And what is he explaining by using the commentary on this verse by Adi Shankaracharya? Adi Shankaracharya says, anirdeshyam means it cannot be explained through speech. It cannot be that eternal happiness, which was the topic of verse 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, it cannot be indicated through speech. It cannot be communicated through speech. It cannot be experienced through speech. We are not capable of communicating that. Then what? Paramam Prakrushtam. Paramam, the greatest, the eternal. Meaning Paramam Prakrushtam Prakruta Purusha Vang Manasa Yoho Agocharam. Meaning that Paramam here means that it is very difficult, and in a common layman's language, it is not a topic in the layman's language or the mind. It cannot be a topic for the speech, or it cannot be a topic of the mind. So we have been wasting our time for last so many months. We have been listening only. If it is not a topic of speech and it is not a topic of mind, teacher is speaking and you are understanding, it is not a topic for both the faculties, then what have we been doing? Time pass. That's all. All this inquiry, all this discussion. Anyway, I will tell you what I wanted to say, but if it is already said, then even better. So it is not a topic for the speech to speak about, and it is not a topic for the mind to comprehend. Taittiriya Upanishad said, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. It is that the self, that eternal happiness, eternal peace, is that from where the speech, without illuminating that principle, returns. It is that which the mind cannot comprehend. Same point is being made here by Shankaracharya. Api sam nivritta eshana ye brahmanaha even then, even though it is not a topic of the speech or it is not a topic of comprehension for the mind, it is not a topic of illumination by the speech, nor it is a topic of comprehension by the mind. Even then, a person who has, here it says what? Api means also. Even then, a person, san nivritta ayashana, he who has become free of the three desires. What are the three desires? This is a technical word, eshana. Eshanas are three: putreshana, vitteshana, lokeshana. What is the desire? Desire for a progeny, to continue your name, to continue your family lineage. So he or she, the seeker, we will say, the seeker who has become free of the urge for progeny. Vitteshana, that was the first one, putra eshana. Second is vitta eshana, vitteshana, the urge to accumulate wealth, physical wealth or spiritual wealth. Physical wealth, portfolios, shares, properties, etc., etc. So many things. Gold, diamonds, rubies. This is physical. Spiritual wealth, siddhis, ability to read the mind, can come to know your own past, touch and heal others, pranic healing, reiki, many other. You can think of a sweet meat and the taste will come to your tongue. You don't have to eat and spend money. You can do that. 3 days. You can think of anything that you don't know. If someone says, oh, you know, there is this flower in Brazil, and you just think about it, the picture will come to you. You don't have to Google it. 3 days. And then you keep perfecting it. So these are all siddhis, powers. These are all wealths. The ability to travel in different worlds, to different planets, to different galaxies. The ability to go to heaven. Acha, nice. Holiday home. Build a holiday home, come back to earth. Another ability. You don't have to go to heaven only after posthumously. You can go while living. So first was what? Putra eshana, a desire. We are talking about the 3 eshanas, 3 desires. First is desire for progeny, second is desire for wealth, and third is lokeshana, loka eshana, desire for name and fame. When you have the money in your pocket, you want to be recognized by the people. Such people, they build a temple, they build a church and put their plaque, built by so and so Garbadananda, in the memory of blah blah blah. Others will build it in your name because you put it in the will. You want to be known after death also, not only while living. So He here, so remember what was the what was the explanation going on? It is not a topic for the speech. It cannot be comprehended by the mind. Yet those people who are free of these three desires, desire for progeny, desire for wealth, and desire for name and fame, or lokeshna also can mean the desire for going to heaven. Heavens are also 7 types. So those who are free of the desire to go to heaven. So then it says what? Sannivritta aishana ye brahmanaha te yat tad etad pratyaksham eva iti manyante. So those brahmanas, who are those brahmanas? Who is a Brahmin? Who is a Brahman?
Who is abiding in the Brahman?
That will be the ultimate. That will be the ultimate. Then he will not be known as Brahmana. Then he will be Sant. He will be a saint.
Who seeks Brahman, Swami?
The one who, yes. So, who is a brahmachari? The one who is walking the path to reality, Brahman. Who is a brahmana? The one who is continuously contemplating on Brahman. See? So, what is the prerequisite then to be a brahmana? That you are living a disciplined life, you are living a contemplative life, you are not living a desire oriented life, you are not living a life to achieve anything of the worldly order. See? So here when it says that such Brahmana, such a person or such people who are continuously contemplating and have made themselves free of all the three desires which we just mentioned, they believe that this truth is immediate. They believe, because we are again talking in speech. We already said speech cannot, it is not a topic of speech. But what these people, what do they believe? They manyante. Manyante means to believe. What do they believe? They believe that it is immediate. Now what is your understanding of immediate? You work it out. You have never seen your vision, but you know there is vision, isn't it? Correct? Or no? You have never seen your mind, but you know there is a mind. You believe there is a mind, isn't it? So why, if you can live your whole life without seeing vision and accepting there is a vision, without seeing the mind and accepting there is a mind, then why can't you accept that there is this Atma, there is this eternal self? Why you insist on seeing it? See, the rule must follow. You follow the same way. Effect can never come to know the cause. No, but two masters come to know each other, that they are realized, they don't speak. So when you study these scriptures and you become silent and you don't need the scriptures, you are also there. It's direct perception, aparoksha anubhuti. So when he says that it is perceived, what is he says? That it is immediate. So here Nachiket is speaking, huh? Here Nachiket is speaking. So he's saying that the wise people, the Brahmana Purusha, those who have become free of the three desires, they say it is immediate. So he's asking next question. Katham nu kena prakarena tat sukham aham vijaniyam. In Sanskrit there is no question mark. The moment katham word comes means how will I, what they are experience, directly abiding in, what they are talking about, it is immediate. How will I come to know it? How will I come to know that eternal happiness, that self happiness, Atma Sukha, Atma Trupti, that contentment of being the self? How will I come to know it? That is his question now. Meaning, idam ityatma buddhi vishayam आपादयेयम यथा निवृत्त ऐषणा यतयः. He is saying, just as those seekers, as those brahmanas, as those who are free of the three desires, they came to this conclusion that this is that. And this was not a declaration to the world. It is for, they came to know within themselves that this is that. Ayam Atma Brahma, or Aham Brahmasmi. And they did it. How did they come to know? Directly, immediately. So here he says, what they came to know that this is that, how will I make that reality, that eternal bliss as a topic of my intellect? How will I make it? किमु तद्भाति दीप्यते प्रकाशात्मकं तद् यतः अस्मद्बुद्धि गोचरत्वेन विभाति विस्पष्टं दृश्यते किं वा नेति. He says, that is, that truth, that essence, that eternal happiness, it is of the nature of light. It is of the tadbhati deepyate. Now he is explaining the word tadbhati. Na tatro suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. Bhati means light. Bha means light. So Bharata, that land where everyone is reveling in light, that is Bharata. That is the correct name of India. Bharatiya. So those people living in the land of Bharat are called Bharatiya. Not only the country is reveling in light, the people, Bharatiya, the citizens of that country are also reveling in light. Not only that, everything in this creation is reveling in that light. So anyway, let's not digress. So it is of the nature of light. Tad bhati deepyate prakashatmakam tad yato asmat buddhi gocharatvena. So can it be known? Can it be a subject of our intellect? The student is asking. Nachiket is asking. Can it be a subject of our intellect? When he says here, asmat buddhi gocharatvena, or can it be experienced through the senses? Gochara, the five senses. Buddhi, mind, intellect. So can it become a topic of contemplation, of perception for the intellect or the senses? That which is of the nature of light, can that be illumined by the intellect? Can it be illumined by the five senses? See, this question comes, you may not have realized it, or you may not have thought in that direction. The sun is far, far, far hot than we can even imagine, isn't it? Yet our eyes are illuminating that sun. If the self is that principle which is even illuminating the sun, not one sun, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. It is more pervasive and more powerful than all the sources of light, sun, moon, stars, planets, lightning and fire. It's more pervasive than that. All these five sources of light, our teeny weeny eye is able to illuminate. So he's asking, is it possible that sun being so hot, my eyes can illuminate? Is there a possibility that this, because sun is of the nature of light and heat, but my eye is able to illuminate it. My intellect is able to conceptualize, is able to see it, is not able to know it. So is there a possibility? Nachiket is asking that it can become a topic of illumination for my senses or my intellect? See, when I give you these examples, you will say, Arey yaar, I could have thought like that for myself. But independently, we never think that way, isn't it? That's such a huge ball of fire, my teeny mini eye is illuminating. Now compare it, that which is even more powerful than this ball of fire, the self. Sun is also self-illuminating, the self is also self-illuminating. If I can illuminate the sun, why can't I illuminate the self? Swamiji, you are putting questions which don't come to us. We were happy before. Now we are more. Now we can't. We don't know which way to go. See? But you have to think in this manner. I'm thinking in this manner. Why? What could be the reason that Nachiket is asking this question? That's why I'm thinking in this manner. These examples are not given here in the explanation. I am adding that from my side for my mind's benefit and your benefit, so that I can understand the mind of Nachiket. तद यतः अस्मद् बुद्धि गोचरत्वेन विभाति विस्पष्टं दृश्यते किं वा नेति. So can it become a topic for our intellect or our senses and can be illumined by them or not? This is the question. अत्र उत्तरम इदम भाति च विभाति चेति. in reply, Yamraj, the Lord of Death, he replies that that it is illumined and it is specially illumined. How? Katham? The teacher himself is saying how. I will explain to you now. And therefore, remember just now, see, it's so amazing. I didn't read the next verse, and I already told that verse in the explanation. Here he says, न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम, न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति. Together. न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति. That which is of the nature of light cannot be illumined. That which is of the nature of light cannot be illumined. And that is told, I already explained to you the 5 sources of light. Na tatra suryo, Surya is sun. Na chandra tarakam. So it cannot, na tatra suryo, there it is that principle. What we are talking about? Self. What we are talking about? Self-illuminated self. It is light unto itself. It cannot be illuminated by the sun. It cannot be illuminated by the moon. Na chandra tarakam. Na vidyuto. It cannot be illuminated by the lightning. Vidyuto bhanti kutoyam. And what to talk about the fire itself? It cannot be illuminated by the fire. One I forgot. Na chandra tarakam. Chandra is moon, tarakam is the stars. So sun, moon, stars, lightning and fire. So when we are talked about sun, moon, stars and the lightning, what to talk of the fire element? It cannot illuminate. Fire is only very gross compared to others. Tama eva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tameva bhantam, it illumines by its own light. It is illuminated by its own light. It is self-revealing. The sun is self-revealing. No other light in this universe can illuminate the sun. Physical universe we are talking about. No other light in this universe can illuminate the sun. So at the physical level, sun is self-illumined. But we know, and it is every one of yours experience, that the sun, which is self-lighted, it is self-illumined, is illumined by your eyes. Your eyes are illumined by the mind. The mind is illumined by the intellect. The intellect is illumined by the life principle. And that life principle is the expression of this eternal self that I am. So here we are talking about that eternal self which is self-illumined. It is light unto itself. It is self-illumined. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Anubhati sarvam. And its light is illuminating everything else. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Everything in this creation. What is included in this creation? Tell me. Let's brainstorm. What is creation for us? Start. Gita. I can only see you, so you tell. What is creation for you?
The
Huh?
physical? Are we talking about the physical world?
I did not say physical, subtle creation. What is your what is your understanding when the word creation comes to your mind?
The universe?
The universe. Okay.
Yeah.
Pramila. Gone to sleep. Uncle. Ah. No, she's there. Okay. Batao.
Death. I don't know. Death.
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 Creation is death. Okay.
No, death.
Okay. Uncle.
I don't know.
I can't. Who all are there?
Anything which is
Renuka. What is your answer?
which can be
You have to.
anything which can be dissolved, Swamiji.
Anything that can be dissolved. Okay.
Like
Okay.
that it has a name.
Yeah. Anything that has a name, anything that. Yeah, one line. I don't want a total explanation. I can't hear you. Your sound is very bad.
Has an end, Swamiji.
Yes,
like a
has an
beginning
end.
and end.
Okay. Usha and Ravi.
Anything which has an end.
Got it. Next.
Waking, dream, and deep sleep, Swamiji.
Waking, dream, and deep sleep is the total world. Okay, creation. Usha. My husband said everything, so what can I say? Tell. There are so many ways of approaching.
All the planes of consciousness.
All the planes of consciousness. Okay, what else? Who's next? Bodh? Not there. Kripa?
Thoughts, Swamiji? Creation of thoughts?
All thoughts. Okay. Because
thoughts.
everything in the creation is nothing but a thought. So she's put it in one word, thoughts. Good student. Smart student. Now don't climb a tree, okay? Next, who is there? Vinay?
Swamiji, everything that is seen and which the sense organs can perceive and the
Anything that sense organs can perceive, I'll add something to it, that mind can imagine and intellect can conceptualize.
conceptual.
Okay. So sense organs can only see the physical world. The mind can only imagine the dream. And the intellect can even think about that which is not there. Deep sleep. Another way to put it, because we are doing brainstorming. Uncle, you want to say something? Okay. So another way, bhutakash, chittakash, chidakash, right? That's another way. That is your creation. Avidya, kama, karma. That is your creation. See? So here when it says, tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Idam. What is idam? Object. What we just in the brainstorm, what we talked about was all objectivity. It illuminates all the objectivity, gross, subtle, and causal. It is that light which cannot be illumined by the sun, the moon, the stars, the lightning, the fire. It is a light unto itself, it is self illumined, and also at the same time it is illuminating all idam, all that is,
Objects.
all objectivity is being illumined by it. Now don't just, we chant it only, "Na tatra suryo bhatina," and take the lamp and go in front of the God. That is not enough. When that chanting is going on, our attention must go to this, in whose light everything is, that physical light in your hand, the lamp, is a representation only of the light within. I forgot to ask Brendan. Brendan, you want to say something?
Yeah, so what was the exact question, Swamiji?
What is the world? What is the creation? Any other thoughts on it?
Could it be God?
Okay, God. So when we are talking about God as a creation, then we are objectifying that God. Right? We are talking about God as an idea. We are talking about God as a form. We are talking about God that which is pervading everything. Right? So
Yeah.
instead of we are talking about all objectivity, we are saying God who is pervading through all objectivity. And we can have a relationship with Him. That's why you are using the word God. We are going beyond that. Understand God in our understanding has 3 levels of expressions. One is with form and with qualities and attributes. With form and with qualities and attributes. As you come closer to Him, or as our intellect gets refined further, then we realize He has got no form but only attributes. And we completely merge into Him, then we realize He has got no form and no attributes. He alone is. Then God is not called God. Right? Good point. See, just one word and how it triggers me into contemplation. See, yes. God and man are coexisting. If there is no man, there is no purpose of God. Both are coexisting. But truth, this self-illumined principle, this self-illumined essence, this eternal happiness, this eternal peace that was talked about in verse 14 and 13, we have to come to that final where there is no attributes and there is no form. But if at any level you are there, whether you are at the no attributes, no form, whether you are with attributes and no form, or you are with form and attributes, you will experience unabated happiness and joy. Because all these 3, even though we are talking about 3, with form qualities, without form qualities, and no form, no qualities, even though we are talking about 3, but they are one only. They are one only. How? I'm digressing a bit, but it's interesting. I'm also enjoying. So Where is with form and with qualities? Where do you have a recognition of your forms and recognition of form and qualities? In the waking plane. You are aware of the forms and you are aware of the qualities. You have a form and you have the qualities. Correct? Where do you now come to the next level? No form and qualities. Which will be that state? It will be dream. Because when you wake up from the dream, you say, oh, that form was imaginary. But you know the mind was there, consciousness was there. And no form and no qualities. In deep sleep, there is no form and there is no quality. It's pure consciousness in deep sleep if we can remain awake. Another contemplation. So, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. We are at this verse. Continue. Then it says, the explanation goes. Oh, this is the last one. Let's 15 minutes. Let me conclude this chapter. Na tatra tasmin swatma bhute brahmani sarvavabhasakah api suryah bhati tad brahma na prakashayati iti arthaha. So here exactly the same thought that I presented to you before, that sun, even though it is self-illuminating, yet it doesn't have the capacity to illuminate that self. It is not able to illuminate that eternal self. It is incapable of illuminating the eternal self. Tatha na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutah ayam asmad drushti gocharaha agnihi. Similarly, the moon, the stars, the lightning, they also cannot illuminate the self. Then drishti gochara agnihi. Then what to talk about the fire element? What to talk about the fire element? Kim bahuna yadidam adikam sarvam bhati tatmeva parameshwaram bhantam deepyamanam anubhatyanu deepyate. What can we say more? Kim bahuna yadidam. What can we say more? That sun, that all these sources of light, the sun, moon, stars, lightning and the fire, all these sources of light, they are all getting illumined by the light of consciousness. And only because of the light of consciousness we are able to know it. The light of consciousness, that is our essence, is illuminating the intellect, is illuminating the mind in turn is illuminating the senses in turn are illuminating the sun, the moon, the stars, the lightning and the fire. But how do we live? I think the sun is going to flip its poles in next 11,000 years are over. It's a long awaited event that we are all waiting for. There's so much of news going on nowadays. Oh, the because of the lightning, the what do you call, the transformers were blown and whole Glen Waverley is without light. So here it is being told, what is being told is so fantastic that if you are with what we are telling you, your mind will quieten down. Instead of living at the mercy of the creation, you will see the creation is at your mercy. In fact, here we are not talking about mercy. Instead of living at the mercy of the creation, we will recognize that the entire objective universe is illumined by the light of consciousness, because that universe is not illumined by a dead person. It can be illumined only by a living person. Then naturally the question comes, what is that principle which is present in me and not in a dead person? At least at the physical level, that's that life. That's that soul, that's that consciousness. So here it is said that all of them are being illumined by that eternal light of the self. Yatha jalol mukadyagni sanyogad agnim dahantam anudahati na swatah tadvat tasya eva bhasa deeptya sarvamidam suryadi vibhati. Just like water can become heat when it comes in contact with, can get heated when it comes in contact with charcoal or hot wood, burning wood, or another piece of wood can come in contact with the wood and catch fire. Similarly, without that connection with the fire, without that contact with the fire, the water cannot get hot. See? Similarly, by itself water can never get hot. Similarly, by the light of the self alone, the sun, the moon, the stars, the lightning and the fire are getting their light. If you want to go expand that list a bit further, in the light of the self alone, the intellect, the mind, the five senses and the sun, the moon, the stars, the lightning and the fire get illumined. Think coolly about it. It's all about insourcing, not outsourcing. We have outsourced our power to the sun, moon and the world. People, situations, bosses, companies, governments, hunger, thirst, desires, concepts, ideas, imaginations, fears. We have outsourced everything. And we are living like a puppet. Whichever is powerful, we move in that direction. But who are we? Puppet, or we are the puppeteer of all these? We are the master of all these. God knows that, so He is not affected by the world. We don't know that, so we are affected by the world. If we are at the name and form level, remember God, I told you what is the grossest? With name and with qualities and attributes. If we recognize that all these qualities are available, are functional, this whole universe is functional because of the self that I am, you are with name and you are with form. When you recognize that you are this world also and the subtle world also, then this physical form goes away. You cannot, with this physical form, you cannot think in the dream. Only quality. So now, physical world as well as subtle world. You can see the two bodies. You can imagine that there in the physical world there was one body, and in the dream world there was one body, but you are other than the two bodies. So you have the quality, you have the knowledge of the two, but you recognize that you are not the body. Neither the physical nor the dream. Neither the waking nor the dream. See? Yeah, अच्छा विचार आया आज. I have never voiced that before. It must be somewhere. I'll have to discover. It will reveal itself in which Upanishad. Sometimes when you are in tune, like I chanted the Natatra Suryo without knowing that the next verse is Natatra Suryo Vati Chandra Tarakam. So when you are in tune, it just keeps flowing.
Swamiji, what was that? Sorry? That last bit?
What did I say? I can't remember.
Oh,
क्या
that
बोला
doesn't
था
matter.
मैंने? हाँ, what I said was that when I'm in the in tune with the topic that is going on, what is given in the various scriptures which I have not even read, sometimes such thoughts get expressed. So the thought which I just expressed,
Oh, okay.
so I have never read that in that manner, but it has got expressed. It makes sense. So it must be somewhere. Someday it will reveal. I don't have the patience to go through all the scriptures to find out where it is. But as we cover everything, it will come someday. Yata evam tadeva brahma bhati cha vibhati cha. Because it is like this, remember, what is reality? What is the self? What is the infinite reality? It is one without a second. Nothing is outside it. And that reality is self-illumined. And when we say that the whole universe is illumined by the self, in other words, it is illuminating itself, because everything is within the reality, cannot be outside the reality. Brahma, reality at the body level, consciousness at the body level is called Atma. In the self, when we use the word self, it is the technical word. It is not equivalent in English, but it says it is the Sanskrit word is Atma. When we look at the totality, when we look, because we are objective in our nature, oh, this is the consciousness here, but I am not that consciousness there, I am not consciousness there, I am not consciousness in the past, I am not consciousness in the future. So many people are going to come, so many consciousnesses are going to be born, so many consciousnesses are going away. This whole universe, I don't know how many, are there extraterrestrials? They must be also conscious. Our imagination is fantastic. So when we look at the whole universe, with respect to this body, the consciousness is called the Atma. With respect to the total world, the consciousness is called Brahman. This is called house space, which is inside this house, because our attention is on the walls. Without the space, house cannot be built. If this is my space in which I live, what is the total world? Where is it existing? If my house is existing in space, inside and outside, where is the total world existing? In the total space. That space is greater than all the worlds put together, isn't it? Exactly the same way. The consciousness that is within this body is the Atma. The consciousness with reference to the total world is the Brahman. The quality of the internal space of this house and the total space is one and the same. Same way, the consciousness of the self and the consciousness of the total self, the Brahman, is one and the same. It cannot be any other way. Think. And therefore we say that it is illuminated in a special way. And what is that special way? Self-illumined. Not like the illumination that we know, that light is illuminating this, my eyes are illuminating that. Not that way. And therefore, here it says, I'm just concluding, कार्यगतेन विविधेन भाषा तस्य ब्रह्मणः भारूपत्वं स्वतः अवगम्यते. He says, and it karyagat means in different ways it illuminates different things in different manner. That is told, and it is that is self-explanatory. Just like sun in one manner illuminates the sun, illuminates the moon, but the sun does not illuminate the stars. The stars are illuminated by in a different manner, but the sun in a different manner illuminates the earth. The moon in a different manner illuminates the earth. But it's the same light. How come one is hot and one is cold? How come the sunlight is warm and the moonlight is cool? Light is the same. Exactly the same way, it is self-explanatory that the eternal self, the self-illumined principle, illuminates everything in a different manner. And that is what is told, because all the objects which do not have light as their essence, or which do not have the illumination capacity, how can they illuminate something else? Just as moon is taking light from the sun and then illuminating the earth. But does moon have its own light? Does it have its own light? No. Does the mind have its own light? Does the intellect have its own light? I don't know. Die and find out. In a dead person, is the intellect functioning? Is the mind functioning? Just think outside the box a little bit. Give me 2-3 more minutes, we'll conclude it. Okay? So that which does not have the light as its essence, how can it illuminate anything else? Just as the various pots, the various ornaments, how can pots illuminate themselves? How can the ornaments illuminate themselves? You need an external source of light to illuminate them. See? So just as in the sunlight the ornaments and pots and pans can be illumined, can be seen, but you don't see pots and pans and ornaments illuminating the sun. Exactly the same way, the self is not only illuminating pots and pans, everything in this creation, gross, subtle and causal, is illumined in the light of the self and not vice versa. इति श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य गोविंद भगवत पूज्य पाद शिष्य श्रीमद् आचार्य श्री शंकर भगवतः कृतौ कठोपनिषद भाष्ये द्वितीयाध्याये द्वितीयवल्ली भाष्यं समाप्तम्. And with this we conclude this chapter, the Dvitiya Adhyay, and in the Dvitiya Valli, now we begin the third chapter in our next class. That will be the last one, I think. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.